Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today, we'll be taking a look at probably one of the last entries in the Evil Dead franchise before this next one. And it is actually on the remake. Today I'll be reviewing the remake of Evil Dead, simply titled Evil Dead. This movie was released in 2013. Got mixed reviews on audiences, sorry. It is also from the producers of the original. While it's not directed by them, I believe Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Rob Tapper, they're producers on the film. They're producers on the film. And this is sort of like a reboot / remake. I personally consider it a remake, but y'all can be the judge of that. So, Evil Dead 2013. What is it about? Evil Dead follows a group of friends, and they want to go on a trip to one of their friends' family cabin. The main two characters for this story are David and Mia Allen. They are brother and sister. Mia has a troubling past, well, with David, but Mia's gotten it a lot worse than David. David and Mia had like a deranged mother growing up. Their father left them when they were young, and then their mother just became a deranged psycho, and they didn't have a good life living with their mother. David kind of abandoned Mia when he became of age, and Mia was left to deal with their mom and dying, and this led to Mia becoming a drug addict. She smokes. She does either meth or some other type of drug. So she's a huge drug addict. And David tries to do these cabin trips with his sister to try to get her over her addiction and just have a good time. Of course, David and Mia's relationship are kind of tangled because of, how David just abandoned Mia. But this time, David wants to do it right, and he wants to stay with her by her side. So he invites Mia, along with three of his friends, Eric, Olivia, and Natalie. Natalie's his girlfriend. And they all stay at the family cabin. While they are there, we also get introduced to David and Mia's dog, Grandpa. I know it's kind of a weird name for a dog, but anyway, dog's name's Grandpa. While they're down there, of course, they go down into the basement, and they see that it is all, there's a room in the cellar. There's like a cellar, sort of like from the original, of course. They go down in the cellar, and this cellar is huge. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's bigger than the original movie cellar. I'm pretty sure it's well bigger. But they go down into the cellar, and they eventually get to one room. They open it. There's these dead rabbits or monuments hung up on the ceilings. It's disgusting. David and Eric are down there. They see all this stuff. But then they come across something wrapped up in a garbage bag and wrapped up in barbed wire. So this thing is obviously want to be kept safe. Then they also come across a sawed-off shotgun, which is basically the boomstick from the Evil Dead franchise, and along with some shells. So they bring all this up there. They're confused as to what it is. Of course, nobody wants them to touch it. They all go to bed. But Eric, being the idiot he is, decides that he wants to tear open the bag and see what's inside. What he finds is, of course, a book, and that book is the Book of the Dead. Let me tell you, one thing the remake does improve on heavily is the design of the book itself. This thing actually looks like it's been bound in human flesh and soaked in human blood. And on the pages of the book, he sees cantations. And these cantations bring to life the demon. Now, being the idiot he is, he decides to read them aloud when it clearly says, don't read, don't say it, and don't even think about it. But of course, Eric being Eric, he decides to read the words anyway. And while Mia's outside in the rain, she gets attacked by something. Of course, she's freaking out. Nobody believes her when she goes inside. They're all thinking it's just withdrawal from her not being able to get to her drugs and her, alcohol and her cigarettes. They're all thinking it's withdrawals. Even David thinks that none of it's true. So she says, to heck with you all. She drives away into the woods. Of course, the entity attacks her while in the woods, and they do copy something from the original movie, specifically in the woods part. Not as bad, but still sort of use the trees to attack her. Then the entity possesses her. Then let's just say after that, when she gets back to the cabin, everything goes haywire. Evil Dead Remake. Much to say about this film. I really enjoy the aspect of Mia's drug addiction, because when the demon starts attacking, everybody believes that it's just her withdrawals, and I really like that approach that they try to take with this movie. David, I enjoy him a lot. I think he's a great main character, along with Mia. David and Mia are like really the two main characters. The side cast, though, David's girlfriend and then, Eric and Olivia, they were meh. I guess if I had to say, honestly, Eric is probably the most interesting out of the least three that I like. But other than that, I just kind of forget about those three. David and Mia are really the only two that I seem to focus on a lot. The gore in this movie, holy crap. They ignore the comedy altogether. Evil Dead 2 had a hint of comedy. Army of Darkness was full of comedy, less horror. This movie went straight back to the original with just horror. They did an amazing job with that. Practical effects look amazing. The possessed, the way these people look when they're possessed, it really does look like a possession, if I gotta be honest. While it's not near as detailed as the original, I still do think they do a pretty good job with the, updated software that they're using and all this new technology. They really do a good job on the makeup effects. Even if it's, not the greatest, it's still really good. The kills, awesome with the gore and just it makes you cringe at some of the ways that these people just get injured. It made me cringe up and do this. It was very heart-wrenching. The way the demon acts in this film is less appealing than the original, but I do enjoy how it tortures these people relentlessly. Unlike, it's really on par with the original, maybe even a little bit more. This is just, out of the remakes I've seen, this has honestly been my favorite. Remakes, you tend to want to try to up the original, or at least try to do as good, and you want to try to, get the audience in. I think they do an amazing job with that. Personally, this is honestly might be my second or my favorite out of the four I've seen. Now, I have seen the latest film, Evil Dead Rise, but I will be reviewing that in a couple days. I want everybody to get their feelings on that movie before I review it. I don't want to spoil anything. If I do spoil anything, I want to make sure everybody sees it first before I do. So it'll be a couple days for that review. But the ending of this film, probably my favorite ending. Probably the best ending I've ever seen in an Evil Dead film. Really enjoy the climax and the resolution. Overall, this movie was just gory. It was the two main casts were amazing. I think Jane Levy as Mia was amazing. Silo Fernandez as David, I thought he did really well. Main character, the supporting cast were all right, but David and Mia are honestly my two favorite out of this film. So, Evil Dead Remake, awesome film. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 9.5. It was really good, 9.5. You'll see my ranking soon on this film along with the others. But what is everyone's thoughts on Evil Dead? Let me know down Evil Dead 2013. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Really love to hear everyone's thoughts on the film. Stay tuned for my review on Evil Dead Rise, and I will see you all when I get that out. So God bless and have a good week. Bye, everyone.